again with yet another episode of Page 3 here on News 9, where we serve you the latest from the entertainment world. And I will not keep you on hold for a very long period of time. Let's take a look at the nostalgia nuggets of this week. This week we are talking about the rise and fall of River Phoenix, a named, phenomenally talented actor with a kind heart who tragically passed away on October 30th, 1993. He shook the entire world from that news. From a young age, River Phoenix was different. More than just a talented actor, he was a passionate advocate for causes like environmentalism and animal rights. Unlike many rising stars who despised the glitz of Hollywood and longed for a simple and meaningful life. Even at the height of his fame, he used his platform to spread awareness about the things he believed in. Phoenix's talent was undeniable. He delivered unforgettable performances in films like Stand By Me, Running on Empty, and My Own Private Idaho, showcasing the depth beyond his years. Directors and fellow actors praised his natural brilliance, and many of today's biggest stars like Leonardo DiCaprio and Timothée Chalamet are often compared to him. Phoenix's life was not as glamorous as it seemed. Born into a family of traveling hippies, his childhood was far from conventional. His parents were involved in a controversial religious group, and River even spoke out later about the hardship that he had to endure. Despite his struggles, he took on the role of provider at a very young age, working to support his family too. On set, he was known for his professionalism and generosity, but behind the closed doors, he wrestled with deep emotional struggles. Some say his discomfort with fame played a role in his downfall. He sought solace in music, forming the band Aleka's Attic, but the pressure of Hollywood and his personal demons took a toll on him. On the night of October 30th, 1993, Phoenix arrived at the Viper Room, an LA nightclub partly owned by Johnny Depp, alongside Mathis and his siblings, Joaquin and Rain. According to Mathis, she had an uneasy feeling that night itself. She knew that something wrong is going to happen. Phoenix, who had been struggling in the days leading up to that particular night, was reportedly pressured into joining a performance at the club. Hours later, he collapsed outside the venue, suffering from a drug overdose. His brother Joaquin made the heartbreaking 911 call, pleading for help, but it was too late. Phoenix was gone at just the age of 23 years old. Phoenix, in fact, had always tried to hide his addictions because he feared that they might ruin his career, as they did his relationship with Plimpton. For the last year of his life, in 1993, he dated his The Thing Called Love co-star Samantha Mathis. Mathis was with Phoenix on the night he died as well. Unlike many young stars who left us too soon, Phoenix is not just remembered for his tragic death. He is honored for his artistry and activism. His influence still echoes through Hollywood, shaping the careers of actors and inspiring countless artists. Many believe that had he lived, he would have continued acting, directing, and championing environmental causes. Though his life was cut short, River Phoenix's impact endures. He remains a symbol of passion, talent, and authenticity in an industry that often forgets what truly exactly matters. Now it's time for the popcorn pick of the week. This time around, we are suggesting you to watch Rifle Club on Netflix. In 1991, feared Mangalore gangster Dayanand Bhare throws an extravagant birthday party for his son Bichu. The celebration takes a dark turn when Bichu tries to force himself on a dancer named Nadia. Her partner, Ali, intervenes, striking Bichu and sending him tumbling into a dumpster below. Believing his son to be dead, an enraged Dayanand orders his men to hunt down the couple. Ali and Nadia then flee to Kannur, seeking refuge with Ali's cousin Shah Jahan, a popular Malayalam actor known for his romantic role. Eager to break free from his typecast image, Shah Jahan is training for a physically demanding role in Vettam Mrugam, a hunting-themed film. To prepare, he joins the Rifle Club in Sultan Batheri, a prestigious institution led by Kurivelli Lonappan and Avaran, whose father was a founding member. More than just a shooting range, the club is a close-knit brotherhood of seasoned hunters. Ali and Nadia find safety among them, but peace is just short-lived for them. Bichu, barely surviving the fall, recovers under his brother Bhira's protection. Furious over his brother's humiliation, Bhira tracks Ali and Nadia to the rifle club. When Huntress Itianam publicly humiliates him, Bhira retaliates by launching a brutal assault with hired mercenaries. The club members, seasoned hunters, fight back, eliminating the attackers except for Bhira and his father's close associate, Chittappa. Wounded and defeated, Bhira refuses medical aid from Dr. Lazar, Itianam's ex-husband, and dies in his father's arms. Dayanand, devastated and enraged, swears vengeance, vowing to annihilate the rifle club. That night, Dayanand leads a more calculated attack, catching the club off guard. Cicely, Avaran's wife, desperately attempts to warn them by tying a message to their loyal dog and sending it into the forest. The warning reaches Avaran and Shah Jahan, but tragedy strikes when the animal is killed by a prowling tiger. Realizing the imminent danger, the two rush back to the club, where the hunters, outnumbered and under siege, prepare for a final stand. As gunfire then erupts and blood gets spilled, Shah Jahan, initially hesitant, sheds his doubts and in fact also fight alongside the hunters, embracing the primal instincts of a true warrior. The battle then reaches its climax when the rifle club takes on Dayanand in a ruthless confrontation. Bound by their code and unyielding determination, the hunters bring down the feared gangster, ending his reign of terror. As dawn then rises over the Western Ghats, the rifle club stands victorious, stronger, battle-hardened and united. For Shah Jahan, the night has been more than a test of survival. It has transformed him from an actor into a warrior. Now it's time to bring you the entertainment wrap of the week, where we bring you the week's biggest entertainment headlines. So here's a look. Meghan Markle produced With Love premiered on Netflix on Tuesday, featuring candid conversations with friends and practical lifestyle tips. Anora became the biggest winner at 97th Academy Awards, grabbed 5 Oscars including Best Actress, Best Director and Best Picture as well. Content creator Ashish Chanchlani made first public reaction after India's Got Latent controversy, said, "Lar lenge situation se, keep us in your prayers." Actor-comedian Veer Das took a swipe at Indian award shows and also indirectly comments on India's Got Latent controversy, asks, "Wonder why modern-day comedians not called to host award shows in India?" Stranger Things actress Millie Bobby Brown criticizes post an article commenting on her body. Millie said, and I'm going to quote her here, "Can't understand why people cannot accept a young girl turning into a woman." Kourtney Kardashian debunked rumors about her son Mason Disick, who is 15 years old, becoming a father, and addressed fake social media accounts posing as him as well. Kanye West's wife Bianca Censori made it into the headlines yet another time, poses naked after the Grammys controversy. Hip-hop mogul Jay-Z sues attorney and accuser for defamation after dismissed assault case. Tamanna Bhatia and Vijay Verma reportedly call it quits after 2 years of dating, upset fans, flood comment sections. Karnataka MLA slams Rashmika Mandana for allegedly snubbing Kannada cinema and Bengaluru International Film Festival. And in crispy chats of the week, we sat down with actress Apurva Arora, and this is what she has to say. Hi everyone, in this episode of Page 3 on News 9, we have got our very own Naira here, or Apurva Arora. Thank you so much for joining us here on this conversation.
Thank you.
How are you, first of all? How's Delhi treating you?
Very well. बड़ा मजा आ रहा है मुझे. I'm here for a very interesting project, so I'm very excited about that. And I'm also excited about the fact that I get to stay with my parents while I'm going to work. तो वो अपने आप में एक अलग experience होता है. When you're being sent to work, बड़ा मजा आता है. So that I'm enjoying.
And since I've introduced you already as Naira, you know I've already told you that I'm a big fan of College Romance. I want to know, how did life change after that?
So before the show happened, before College Romance happened, people knew me for the work that I did. People would watch my films, shows. There were industry people who knew me कि अच्छा ये एक अच्छी actor है, इसको ज़रूर audition किया जाए, इसको ज़रूर मिला जाए. But when College Romance released and it worked, a lot of the audiences started recognizing me, noticing me, जो कि हो रहा था पहले भी थोड़ा, but उस शो की वजह से एक बूम मिल गया एंड आई एम वेरी ग्रेटफुल बिकॉज उसकी वजह से मुझे एक ऐसी ऑडियंस मिल गई जो कि एक लॉयल ऑडियंस है. उसकी वजह से दैट काइंड ऑफ हेल्प्ड मी गेट मोर क्रेडिबिलिटी एज अ बैंकेबल एक्टर, जो कि अपने आप में बहुत ज़रूरी होता है. आई नो कि एक्टिंग अच्छी होना, लुक्स मैच करना कैरेक्टर से, 10 तरह की चीज़ें मैटर करती हैं, बट आज के टाइम में नंबर्स भी मैटर करते हैं बहुत लोगों के लिए. तो वहाँ मुझे बहुत हेल्प मिल गई बिकॉज ऑब्वियसली कोई बैकिंग तो है नहीं एज सच कि कोई मेरे लिए लिखे या कोई मुझे ही पुश करे. तो उसके लिए मेरे पास मेरी ऑडियंस हो गई कि यू नो इफ दे वांट टू सी मी देन पीपल वुड वांट टू कास्ट मी. सो that's the way the show really helped my career.
And we saw a lot of fun happening on our screens. We loved with it. We cried with it at certain instances also. But what about the off camera scenes? Tell us more about the bonhomie that you all share, the chemistry between you guys.
I think it was quite crazy, but now that I reflect on it, it was less college, more how do I say this? एक होता है ना पार्क में जो आंटी अंकल बैठते हैं शाम को अपना गॉसिप करते हैं, ताश खेलते हैं, ये सब करते हैं. I think we became that kind of a bunch. I don't think we ever went out partying except a few times. It was a friendship of over 5 years. So normally on a set, you want to knock your co-actors' doors and you don't want to bother them if you want to hang out with them. यहाँ पे ऐसा हो गया था कि मुझे उठा दियो थोड़ी देर में, मेरा शॉट है. Nobody is relying on anyone else. We're just a bunch जो आपस में ही अपने आप में एक है कंप्लीट सेट है हर तरीके के लोगों का. तो जब हर तरीके के लोग आ जाते हैं ना एक ग्रुप में तो ज़्यादा मज़ा आ जाता है.
You entered the industry at a very young age. You are still young. You are just, I don't want to reveal your age because I know how sensitive we girls are. But you're still very young and you entered the industry at a very young age. How do you see yourself growing with each passing year, with each passing projects that you have done so far?
I think pehle when I started, a lot of it was about me finding myself. Ki you know, I grew up as someone who could not even talk properly. I used to stutter. I used to feel like, oh, it's not my place to speak up. I grew up like that, and eventually I became this person who understood that I have an agency. I can do whatever I want to do. I can have an opinion. I can ask as many questions as I want to ask. तो शुरुआत वहाँ से हुई and then it moved. Now it has gone on to what can I do for this character? How do I become this person that I'm supposed to play? जो narrative है इस फिल्म का या शो का, उसमें मैं कहाँ fit होती हूँ, मेरा character क्या कर सकता है, मेरी back story क्या है. So I think that's how I feel like I have grown as a person and as an actor side by side. And I think that's been a great journey because कोई ऐसी formal training तो नहीं मिली है acting में. The training that I've gotten is with the filmmakers that I've worked with on the job. So I think that's been quite fun.
That's really interesting. And मैं age तो फिर भी नहीं बताऊंगी, लेकिन at least I can tell our viewers that you are a Gen Z. So if I can, you are.
मुझे बोला गया कि I'm neither a millennial or a Gen Z, so I'm a zillennial.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask you, where do you find yourself lying more towards? Like, do you think that you are a millennial soul or a Gen Z soul?
I'm a boomer. No. I know. I think जिस दिन से मुझे बोला गया ना कि you're a zillennial, I've kind of figured it out for myself कि I'm a bit of both. Like I can hang out with someone much older and much younger as well. कि कुछ values अपनी उतनी strong हैं, कुछ because that also comes with time and with age and experience कि आप अपने आप को जान जाते हो अपने. You know your negotiables and your non-negotiables. So you're anyway a stronger person, you're a better personality anyway. But that masti, that wanting to explore things, that क्या बोलते हैं, that word is chul of Gen Z, that is also there. That kira is also there. So I think it's a good balance to have.
When did you finally realize in your life that you want to pursue acting and you want to become an actress?
I think I would say that acting found me. When I started, I wanted to become a choreographer. I wanted to or become a dancer. मतलब something on those lines.
And I've seen your dancing videos. You are amazing.
Thank you.
Especially the very recent one, the black and white one.
Oh, thank you.
Just the daily routine, but you were amazing. Nobody dances on a daily basis like that.
Thank you. क्या बोलूं? तो मेरे को वही करना था And then NSD happened. Dad sent me to NSD just because I could talk. I couldn't like I used to stammer like I said. तो मतलब इसकी बच्चे की कुछ पर्सनैलिटी तो निकल के आए, जबकि बहुत इंटेलिजेंट इंसान हूँ, सब अच्छा है, स्कूल में अच्छी हूँ, हर चीज़ में अच्छी हूँ, इमोशनली ठीक हूँ. तो वो क्योंकि बोल नहीं पाती थी, एक्सप्रेस नहीं कर पाती थी, तो NSD भेज दिया. TI एक होता है थिएटर इन एजुकेशन बच्चों के लिए, उसमें भेज दिया. वहाँ से मुझे थोड़ा थोड़ा समझ में आने लगा कि एक्टिंग स्टेज पे कैसे होती है, कैमरा के सामने तो खैर पता ही नहीं था. एंड देन माई फर्स्ट फिल्म हैपेंड. इट हैपेंड टू मी बाय चांस बिकॉज आई वॉज अ पार्ट ऑफ TIE. तो देन इवेंचुअली आई रियलाइज एंड देन आई गॉट इन टू इट जस्ट टू सी कि अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ आ रही हैं, तो लेट्स एक्सप्लोर इट. But there was also a time when I had to sit back and think whether I want to do this or not, whether I'm doing it because it happened to me or whether I'm doing it because I really want to act. तो वो difference मुझे then I had to decide, and then that's when I realized कि oh, this is what I want to do, this is what I was meant to do, if I can say that.
So you have told us that you used to stutter in past, then you went to NSD, which would have given you an overwhelming amount of crowd around you. Everybody there wants to become a movie maker or an actor. So being somebody who has been suffering from stammering, did it take a toll on your self-confidence? How did you overcome it?
It did actually. It did take a toll, and I used to still stammer till my first or second film, I think. I did not know that it's called a stammer. I thought that I can't talk. So what used to happen was I would just lower my volume a lot, and people would just think that she doesn't know how to project her voice, which is not true. It's just that I didn't know how to speak clearly, and it would only happen when I'm overwhelmed or if I'm angry or if I'm feeling intense emotions. Otherwise I would manage to talk fine. So when my second film happened, which was a Kannada film, and this is a completely new language, तो धीरे धीरे ज़बान साफ़ होने लग गई. बिकॉज आई यूज़ टू प्रैक्टिस द लैंग्वेज, एंड वो उसके वर्ड्स बहुत अलग होते हैं फ्रॉम हिंदी एंड इंग्लिश, जिसकी आदत थी. तो वहाँ से फिर मेरी जब ज़ुबान साफ़ हुई, दैट्स व्हेन आई रियलाइज ओह दैट वाज द प्रॉब्लम. तो आई थिंक दैट फिल्म वाज अ ब्लेसिंग, आई वुड से.
You have done movies in multiple, like you have done projects in multiple languages, but you are a Punjabi at heart. You are a Punjabi yourself.
Yes.
How did you manage learning the different language? How did you manage being so fluent in it? And what are your thoughts about having a pan-Indian career?
So the language thing, I think एक थोड़ा सा I have an edge कि मुझे याद हो जाता है बहुत easily. दूसरा, I think I was very confident about my acting. I'm not saying कि मैं मान चुकी थी कि मुझे सब कुछ आता है या I'm the best in the business. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. It's just that I was confident about the fact that I could emote what I wanted to emote. So when you know that, the words don't really matter that much because they're anyway going to dub them. तो जब वो confidence आता है तो फिर आप भूलते भी नहीं. Because you've read it so many times, there's an assistant director who's been reading it out to you a few times, तो वो बैठ जाता है दिमाग में. Those words make sense to you. Eventually you start to make sense of the sentences also. तो बस अगर आप confidently कर जाते हो, मुझे तो उस चीज़ में बहुत help हुई.
So throughout all the projects and while you were working on them or when it released on big screens and on OTTs, was there any specific instance when you got an immediate confidence boost कि now I think that I have achieved something as an actor?
I think these moments happen every day, and the opposite also happens every day. Sometimes you end up creating something, जैसे आप बहुत अच्छे से prepare करके जाते हो कुछ चीज़ को, you've worked with your director, you've asked them all the questions you wanted to ask, and then that's my process, then you forget about all the prep that you've done because you want to live the moment, be the character, be in that zone. और जब आप perform करके निकल आते हो तब रियलाइज़ होता है कि ओह ये था मेरे अंदर, ये निकल के आया. बहुत सारी ऐसी चीज़ें होती हैं जब बहुत सारे पर्टिकुलर एग्जाम्पल तो मुझे याद नहीं है कि छोटे छोटे एक्सप्रेशंस भी कभी कभी ऐसे आ जाते हैं कि moments where I know that I'm acting, I know that I'm being someone else, I'm being a character, but I'm being the character so well right now कि ऑटो पायलट पे चल रहा है वो इंसान मेरे लिए, जो कि मैं हूँ भी नहीं. तो वो बड़े इंटरेस्टिंग मोमेंट्स होते हैं एक्टर के लिए.
And I'm really curious about Nazariya. Tell us more about it.
Nazariya was, I think, one of the most amazing experiences this year. अचानक से फिल्म आई, अचानक से डायरेक्टर का कॉल आया and he wanted me to be a part of this film and we met and he told me a little bit about the story. And I knew that I knew about Bhavya Shah and उसके अलावा कुछ नहीं पता था because he's been living in the US and he's not been on the scene before this. तो बहुत interesting था मेरे लिए काम करना. And I'm glad that I did the film because बहुत ही जल्दी हम लोगों ने the script was written, we went on set, we shot quickly. तो ऐसे में you get to test how prepared you are for these situations. आप रात को रीडिंग कर रहे हो, आप रात को ऑलमोस्ट इम्प्रोवाइजेशन प्रैक्टिस कर करके डायरेक्टर के साथ सीन लिख रहे हो एंड द नेक्स्ट मॉर्निंग यू आर टोल्ड कि अच्छा जो हमने कल किया था उसमें से ये रख रहे हैं, ये नहीं रख रहे हैं, दिस इज़ व्हाट वी आर गोइंग टू शूट नाउ एंड देन यू शूट दैट एंड देन यू गो बैक होम एंड द ड्रिल कंटिन्यूज. आई थिंक वो एक बूट कैंप जैसा हो गया था इन अ वे.
What are your thoughts about short films? Because I am asking this for Lipstick.
हाँ, okay.
Yeah. So you tell us more about Lipstick and what are your thoughts about short films successing at, you know, with the audiences basically?
See, right now, for an actor, for me especially, the reason I wanted to do short films was कि I get to experiment and it's not like there's a lot at stake. There's lesser money involved. There's less amount of days, shoot dates involved. And most directors who want to make short films are experimental. They want to like take that risk and see where the story takes them a lot of times. तो मुझे वो मज़ा करना था. I wanted to have fun with the parts that I get to play and the filmmakers that I work with. Some of them are very new also. मैंने बहुत सारी short films की जिसमें बहुत नए filmmakers थे. तो वो मेरे को definitely करना था and I had decided in 2024 that I'm going to do a lot of short films and I also wrote my own. But क्या होता है कि you don't know where they're going to end up. They're sent to festivals, they're sent to places. But बहुत सारे लोग नहीं देखते हैं. Audience कहाँ short film देखती है. ज़्यादातर लोगों की शॉर्ट फिल्म बनाने का रीज़न होता है प्रैक्टिस और अपनी पिच तैयार करना फॉर देयर फीचर. तो बट कुछ शॉर्ट फिल्म्स यूट्यूब पे बहुत अच्छी कर जाती हैं, कुछ OTTs पिक कर लेते हैं स्पेशली आफ्टर दे विन एट फेस्टिवल्स. तो वो भी एक था दिमाग में कि वाई नॉट, वाई इफ समथिंग वर्क्स आउट ग्रेट, अदरवाइज आई विल ट्रीट इट लाइक प्रैक्टिस.
What are your thoughts about those who have no filters at all while they are using social media? Because I'm saying this because you are coming from Zillennial. So a lot of us rose to the fame through social media.
Correct.
But now they don't have any filters. So what are your thoughts about it? What's your suggestion for it?
As long as आप कुछ ऐसी बात नहीं कर रहे हो जो किसी को नीचा दिखा रही है, किसी को endanger कर रही है, I think it's all right to say whatever you want to say because इतना फ्रीडम है हमारे पास बोलने के लिए. सबके ओपिनियंस मैटर करते हैं. ऑडियंस भी अब समझदार हो गई है. पीपल अंडरस्टैंड दैट यू डोंट हैव टू अग्री टू एवरीथिंग दैट इज़ बीइंग सेड. बट ऑफ कोर्स देयर आर ट्रोल्स ऑल्सो. तो जो फ्रीली इतना बोल रहा है वो जानता है कि ट्रोलिंग भी एक एस्पेक्ट होता है इसका. तो आई थिंक वही है कि अगर लिमिट में रहा जाए, इंसान अपनी लिमिट्स में रह जाए. जैसे उल्टे सीधे ख्याल सबको आते हैं, मुझे भी आते हैं. समटाइम्स आई सी समथिंग एंड आई वांट टू यू नो, ये होता है ना आपके अनफिल्टर्ड इनर थॉट्स. तो आपको वहाँ कहाँ लाइन ड्रॉ करनी है वो इंसान को खुद से पता होना चाहिए और इंसान को पता होता है. बट क्या होता है ना कि मेरे साथ ये हुआ, स्टोरी डाल दी. मेरे साथ ऐसे किया, मैंने स्टोरी डाल दी. इसने मुझे ये बोला, स्टोरी डाल दी. तो वो टाइम ही नहीं देते हैं लोग अपने आप को ये फिगर आउट करने का कि अगर ये बात हुई है, ये शेयर करनी है तो करनी भी है कि नहीं. और हाउ टू what words to use, what's the right way to express what's happened, what आप एनालाइज ही नहीं करते हो, आप सीधा बोल देते हो. वहाँ पे प्रॉब्लम आ जाती है. तो आई थिंक इट्स बेटर टू लाइक, अगर आप सोचते हो ना 10 बार सोच के डालना चाहिए, मुझे लगता है 100 बार सोच के डालना चाहिए. बिकॉज उसका आप पे क्या इम्पैक्ट होगा आपको नहीं पता, ऑडियंस पे क्या होगा, आसपास वालों पे क्या होगा. यू हैव टू टेक इनटू अकाउंट ऑल दीज थिंग्स व्हेन यू पोस्ट.
That's all we have to back it up on the show this weekend. Do stay tuned to Page 3 on News 9. We'll come back next weekend. Bye-bye.